स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. We shall begin the study with chanting of 2 verses from the meditation on Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We shall now learn to chant the 11th verse of the 2nd chapter. As I have told you, that true teaching of Bhagavad Gita starts from this 11th verse of the 2nd chapter. Last time I had just given a brief introduction. Today we shall go to the depth of this verse, and also we have to go back and do some revision too. So we shall first chant this 11th verse from the 2nd chapter. Please repeat this verse after me. Ashochya, first I will tell it in a verse format, then we will chant in the particle way. Ashochya nanvashochastvam pragnavadamscha vashyase gatasoon agatasoonscha nanushochanti panditaha. Ashochya nanvashochastvam Ashocyan nanvashochastvam pragnavadamscha bhashase pragnavadamscha bhashase gatasoon agatasoonscha gatasoon agatasoonscha नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः. This is the 11th verse. Just see the simple meaning of this verse. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Lord said to Arjuna, Ashochya nanmashochasvam. The Lord said, Tvam, hey Arjuna, you, anvashochaha, are grieving. Ashochyan, for those who should not be grieved. Cha, and at the same time, bhashase pragnavadan. You are speaking as though the words you spoke all this time, it looks as if you are a very wise man. Panditaha, wise men. But Panditaha, wise men, men of wisdom, na anushochanti. They do not grieve for Gatasun, the dead, Cha, and Agatasun, for the living too. That is the simple meaning of this verse. But before entering into this, Lord Krishna, before starting this wonderful discourse or talk on this problem, solving the problems, he gave a wonderful smile. In the last verse you saw it. Now we have to get into the meaning of that smile. Then if you know that meaning of that smile, then true smiling face will come on your demeanor too. Because to smile, I think so much of muscles and tendons and other things of your face have to work. So that relieves your tension when you smile. So if you keep that smiling face always forcefully, automatically the mind will be in a very good state of mind, peaceful state. Because the inner thought and your state of mind is coming out in the form of smile on your face. If you forcefully always keep a smile on your face, then that mind will go just like reverse engineering. It will go back and keep your mind calm and serene. Now, we will make a special research on this wonderful thing called smile. Okay? We will first go to the earlier verse where Sanjaya is depicting, as I told you, on the battlefield. He is sitting in the palace with Dhritarashtra, with the blind king. He is giving the commentary. But he has a special insight whereby he can see everything on the battlefield. Not only he can see the external things, he can see the thought of the people also. Now he could observe the wonderful smile on the face of Krishna too. That's why he has used that word. So it is very, very necessary. That's why I am going back a little, explaining that wonderful thing, the smile of Krishna, which can bring in beautiful smile always on our face too. And what is that verse? The 10th verse of the 2nd chapter. Tam uvacha, Hrishikeshaha. That's Lord Krishna. Prahasanniva Bharata. Prahasanniva. As if he is smiling. Prahasanniva Bharata. Senayor ubhayor madhye vishidantam idam vachaha. Lord Krishna, see, had a tremendous control over the situation. That is the whole difference, you see. Man of wisdom is not only a man of wisdom, whatever now he is giving, see, generally, what we speak is what we are. You can't, for a long time, cover up something which is not what you are. Automatically, while we are speaking, what is your inner thing comes out. Now, Krishna is giving all this wonderful teaching not as just a teaching or a philosophy or something which he has not practiced. He is beyond that. He has gone even beyond that. Whatever he tells now, he is already that. All the teachings which he is giving here is already that. And he's much more than that. He's the Avatara, Sakshat Lord himself. That's his speciality. So now he has tremendous control over the situation. And that's why they have used the word here, Sanjaya, to describe Lord Krishna as Hrishikesha. Hrishika Isha. One who has controlled the senses, who is the Lord of the senses. Not only senses, mind. So, see, you are a living being. You have 10 different type of sense organs. Karmendriya, Gnanendriya. And that is controlled by your mind. So the whole thing, the Lord of this is the inner Atman or Parabrahman. So Lord Krishna, if he is called Hrishikesha, the Lord of the senses, that means he is your indweller. If he is the Lord, he controls everything. He has control of the internal mechanism and also the external mechanism. So Sri Krishna had a tremendous control over the situation. He was not confused like Arjuna. Arjuna was totally confused. That's why he's talking something, he's behaving something, he's uttering, babbling something, and he's telling, I'm surrendering, and after that he's telling, I'm not going to fight. See, once when you tell you have surrendered to Lord Krishna, you teach me, then he should allow and obey what Krishna tells. But after telling I'm going to surrender, he's telling I'm not going to fight. That itself is showing the quandary, the situation of his mind, confused state of mind. So see, everything you have to study and you should understand, go deep and deep and deep, and you can get into the psychology of human beings. And you can study your mind too in that way. So now, Lord Krishna was not confused like Arjuna. Wherever there is that tremendous self-control and self-restraint, you will find that the mind is spontaneous and natural. So what happens at that time? When it is under control, a smile appears on the face. Because Lord Krishna has the control. So whenever there is tremendous self-control and self-restraint, you will find that the mind is spontaneous and natural. A smile appears. Arjuna could not smile. You saw all that all these days. What was the condition? Shivering. His legs are not giving him strength. He is falling down. His, the chapter itself is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. He is in melancholy. He is sorrowing. He is grieving. So there is no smile on the face of Arjuna. But because everything is under control, Krishna is smiling. A smile appears. Arjuna could not smile in that condition. The smile on Sri Krishna's face is a sign of tremendous control. See, that's why I took up this thing called smile. Why? Because it will bring in smile to your life. So if they study chapter in Ramayana, Sundarakanda, then your problems in your life will be solved, it seems. Why? Because Hanuman searched Mother Sita and brought back the good news, and he brought a smile into the face of Lord Ramachandra himself. Happiness into the life of Ramachandra. So, that is called Sundarakanda. Name itself, you see, Sundarakanda. So, if people, when they have difficulty in their life, they are under depression and so much of anxiety, they study this Sundarakanda. So, when you study Sundarakanda, like that brought happiness and smile on the face of Lord Ramachandra, the Lord himself, it will bring in smile and happiness to your life. Likewise here, if you can understand Krishna is smiling, the reason, then it will be replicated in you too. Then you can also be smiling. Arjuna face is a sign of melancholy, depression, but the smile on Sri Krishna's face is sign of the tremendous control he had over the situation around. When you are in a distressed state of mind, you cannot smile. And if you smile too, we sometimes create drama. Inside we will be boiling with so many varieties of problem, but we will give a smile, contorted smile. People can understand it. You can't fool people, you see. They can understand it. Though they may see the salespersons and some representatives, when they go to do the marketing, they will be taught, I have heard they should see, even you may hate that person, you may not like to see that person in front, but you should just tell, I'm very glad to meet you. You may not be glad to meet him, but outside you have to express, I'm very glad, happy to meet you, all the drama you have to do. But inside, it is not so. So that's why Master Ramakrishna used to tell, what is the sign of a good person, a realized person, or a realized soul? Mon, muk, akkura. Used to always tell, what is mon? Mind. Muk, face. That means your action, your thought, your deed should be one. But what is our condition? Ramakrishna is telling that mon, muk, akkura, one straight line. But what our thought will be different. Our deed will be different. And our words will be different. See, just note how we behave. Need not find fault in others. It's only to correct ourselves. We will be thinking something, we'll be doing something, we'll be speaking something. So when you bring that together, that is truthfulness in the real sense. Not just uttering something as it is and hurting other people is truthfulness. Real truthfulness is your thought, your deed, your words should become one. That's what Ramakrishna tells. See, here, even if you smile, there's no value at all. Because behind your thought and other thing is giving away the secret. Even if you smile, that would be contorted smile, not a natural smile. Look at a baby's face, a baby's smile. How beautiful, how happy you feel to see that smile. Is there any contortion? Because they don't have that untruthfulness or separation in their expression. They are straight. Why don't you feel when you see the smile of other people, you may get angry also? Why? Because it is not matching with their thought. So that's very, your thought and your word is very, very important. How beautiful is the smile of the baby? We lose that power as we grow older and older because we identify with the ego. But still, we can have some sort of natural, spontaneous smile. But if you are in distress, no smile can come. In the case of Sri Krishna, this smile was a constant feature of his mind. A tremendous mind with great control over the environment around him. So, he confronts the problems and tensions of the world with a gentle smile. Have you noticed any time? Lord Krishna, on his head, he has something. What is that? Feather of peacock. What is that meaning? See, every god and goddesses, as I told you, their weapons, their hands, they have something. They have something. Lord Shiva is having moon, crescent moon on his head. So everything, they're representing something. It's not simply for a joke or something for drawing or imagination of an artist. It has something behind it. So why is Krishna wearing that feather? He didn't have any other work. He will go and get some dead feather peacock and put on the head like a madcap. Feather in the cap? No. Something in it. The ideal is there behind it. What is that? I have the control. The feather shows, the peacock feather represents the nature. Beautiful nature. So I am the controller of the nature. I have control of the nature. What Shiva is having? Crescent moon. What moon represents? Time. How do we measure time? You go outside and see what's the movement of the moon. It will be full moon. The next day you go little less. Next day you go and see it will be little less. Then there will be crescent. Then it will go away. Then finally, no moon. Then again it will come little moon, little big, little big. So every day, the 15th day, that is called Paksha. Shukla Paksha, Krishna Paksha. How do you measure? That difference in the moon. So your time, Tithi, whatever you tell, Tithi and other thing you mention, or you always study the calendar, Hindu calendar, or even any other calendar, on the moon. So if he's having a head on the moon, that means he's the controller of time. That's why, what is the name of Shiva? Kala, Mahakala, the controller of time. What is the name of a wife of Shiva? Kali. What? Controller of time. See, everything has something there. And another meaning of moon on the head of Shiva, can you imagine why? Have you seen? Moon is connected directly to our mind. How? See, go to the ocean on the full moon day and see the waves. High waves will be coming up. How is that? Because in physics they tell, an object with mass will attract another object with mass. An object which is having mass will attract another object which is having mass. This is one of the basic principles of physics. So, Earth has gravity which is higher than the moon. That's why we are all the objects are, though it is spinning at some 1000 kilometers per hour or something speed, the Earth is revolving and rotating. Revolution itself is with high speed. At the diameter, it will be some 1000 kilometers per hour speed. Just imagine if you are going in a car at 145 kilometers per speed, what would be your, this thing, 150, 160, 200. But here the Earth is spinning more than 1000 kilometers per hour. So what should be the effect? But you are all stable. Is your head reeling? No. You are on the Earth, but your head is not reeling. Why? Gravity. Gurutva Akarshana, gravity. Likewise, moon also is having gravity. So what has happened to the power of the gravity of the moon? It can't affect on the solid, but it will affect on the liquid on the Earth. So that's why all that liquid, that is the ocean and everything, there will be waves and tides during full moon. Likewise, no moon, when it is far away, there will be depression, dip, ebb tide, low tide. So that's why, same thing. On the Earth, what is the quantity of liquid or water on the Earth? Nearly 72% or 70%. How much of doctors can tell? How much of water is there in our body? Nearly 70% only. So, the effect of the moon's gravity is on the liquid of our body, just like the liquid outside the Earth, in the Earth. Likewise, the blood and all the other things will be rushing towards the brain during full moon. So, it will be very active, adventurous. During no moon, depression. So, moon has effect on your mind. What is the name of moon in Greek or Rome? Lunar. What is this thing of a mental asylum? Name? Lunacy. How does it come? Moon. Lunatic asylum. Why? Connected to the mind. So mind, it's connected. So moon is the one which affects your mind. So Shiva, having a moon on the head means, I am the control of the mind. Feather, peacock feather, I am the controller of nature. So see, everything has some meaning. So likewise, you can see, let us search the wonderful smile on the face of Lord Krishna. So, this smile was a constant feature of his mind. A tremendous mind with great control over the environment around him. So, he confronts the problems and tensions of the world with a gentle smile. And through that, he administers that calmness, that tranquility to the human mind. In the Mahabharata epic, you will find many instances of Sri Krishna faces very difficult situation and brings about calmness around him. That's why even after 30,000 years, why is the Prime Minister of India, Modi, putting a scuba diving equipment and going down the Gujarat, the Dwaraka, this thing, to see the palace and other place, dwelling place of Lord Krishna, which is submerged in the sea. After 30,000 years, the Prime Minister is going, we are also going pilgrimage. Still, we are thinking of Krishna. Why? Because of this tremendous control of the mind. He influences our mind too. If we think of him, if we meditate on him, if we take to his teaching, we will also get the tremendous control of our mind. That's what you can see. He confronts the problem and tensions of the world with a gentle smile. And through that, he administers the calmness, the tranquility to the human mind. In the Mahabharata epic, you will find many instances of how Sri Krishna faces very difficult situation and brings about calmness around him. The expression prahasanneva means as if with a smile. From here onwards, you find Sri Krishna's exposition in the second chapter from verse 11 to 38, trying his best through various arguments to prod Arjuna to face the battle of life. Arjuna is a Kshatriya. His very nature is such that he has to face this difficult situation. Everybody now depending upon Arjuna for that, to win the battle. So Krishna, Lord Krishna wants Arjuna to recognize his duty at this time through various arguments, some of them highly metaphysical, some of them very practical at the worldly sense, and the metaphysical arguments are based upon the philosophy of ascetic thought, that is Gnana Marga, Sankhya Yoga. That's why the second chapter is called, first chapter is Arjuna Vishadaya. What is the name of the second chapter? Quiz. Sankhya Yoga or Gnana Yoga, the second chapter. So because he's giving that, Lord Krishna is giving that Gnana Marga, the path of Gnana, knowledge. So this second chapter name, you can call it Sankhya Yoga or Gnana Yoga, which denies this ordinary sense of the world, which believes in a transcendental experience where the Atman, your true nature, the consciousness is ever free, without any attachment. That is everyone's true nature. Birthless, deathless is the self of all. Based on that metaphysics and vision, Sri Krishna is inducing Arjuna to face up this battle. But those arguments do not convince Arjuna yet. So Krishna has to take him through different philosophical layers of thoughts thereafter, under which we all can fight the battle of life and face up to its challenges. So we will still make some more research on the smile of Lord Krishna. We shall take the help of Swami Vivekananda. In the last session, I think I had told I will be bringing in the thought of Swami Vivekananda. I think you have forgotten, I have not forgotten. So I will take you through Swami Vivekananda's words. What happened? One, Sri Priyanath Sinha was there. He was a friend of Vivekananda at that time. So Vivekananda is telling he went to his friend's house. That friend had a picture painted. What was that painting? The subject, which is Sri Krishna addressing Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Same situation, which we are in now. Senayor Bhyor Madhye, in between the two armies, we are in that stationed. Krishna is teaching Arjuna. The same painting is here. Sri Krishna stands on the chariot, holding the reins of the horse or that chariot in his hands and preaching Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. That is the painting. So Vivekananda is telling, he showed me the picture and asked me how I liked it, the friend is asking. So Vivekananda told, fairly well. But the friend insisted on having my criticism on it. He asked Vivekananda to give some constructive criticism on the painting. I had to give my honest opinion by saying, there is nothing in it to commend itself to me. First, because the chariot of the time of Shri Krishna was not like the modern pagoda style. What is pagoda style? It's not pagoda you eat. It is pagoda means, the Buddhist temple will have a gopuram. So now you will see in the picture covered like this. with all designs. So in those time, the chariot would not be like that. If it is, the chariot is like that because it's a battlefield, it will be going at high speed. It should have aerodynamics. If you have that pagoda style, that opposing wind will stop, the speed will be reduced. Your car and everything is made out of aerodynamics now to increase the speed. So now the chariot was not like that pagoda with all that you see. Vivekananda is telling, how was the chariot? It is not like the modern pagoda-shaped car. And also, there is no expression in the figure of Sri Krishna. So how was the chariot, you know? You might have seen some Greek and Spartan wars, and that chariot will be half this thing, no, nothing on the top. So like that chariots were there at that time, Vivekananda, because he has envisioned, he had the vision, so he could see, and Vivekananda is telling about it. And he is also telling there is, in this painting, there is no expression at all on the face of Sri Krishna. So now the question to Vivekananda, how then should Sri Krishna be represented in the picture, in the question? Swami Vivekananda answers, Sri Krishna ought to be painted as he really was on the battlefield. What is that? How can we paint the face of Krishna? Swami Vivekananda is telling, the face should express Bhagavad Gita personified. The essence of Bhagavad Gita should be shown on the expression, beautiful expression of the face of Lord Krishna. See, such wonderful things. Can you imagine all these things? So Vivekananda is giving that. He really was, Sri Krishna was the Gita personified. And the central idea of Bhagavad Gita should radiate from Sri Krishna's whole form as he was teaching the path of righteousness to Arjuna. That should be beaming on the face. Krishna should be beaming that. He is teaching righteousness to Arjuna. So how should the face be? Vivekananda is telling. So how was Arjuna, who had been overcome by infatuation, attachment and cowardice? So saying, Swami Vivekananda himself posed. Can you imagine? And gave a beautiful smile on that face, Vivekananda. Lord Shiva's avatara, the great disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, Brahmagnani, one of the Sapta Rishis, Nara Rishi's avatara, realized soul, Dhyana Siddha, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, whatever Krishna has told in the Bhagavad Gita, he has realized the truth. Now he is showing how should be the face he is expressing. Now, so saying, Swami Vivekananda posed himself in the way in which Sri Krishna should be portrayed and continued. Look here. Thus does he hold the bridle of the horses. Krishna should be holding the bridle of the horses in this way. Look here, Swami Vivekananda, so tight that they are brought to their haunches with their forelegs fighting the air. That should be the way Krishna brought to the horses are mouths gaping, the horse mouth should be gaping. This will show a tremendous play of action in the figure of Sri Krishna. His friend, the world-renowned hero, Arjuna, casting aside his bow and arrows, has sunk down like a coward on the chariot in the midst of the two armies. And Lord Krishna, Sri Krishna, whip in one hand. You know, the horse rider will always have a whip to whip the horse. So he is having whip in one hand and tightening the reins with the other. He turned himself towards Arjuna. So he is holding the reins in one hand, whip in one hand, and he is turned towards Arjuna. So he is pulling it in such a way the horse have up like that. So how should be the face? How should be the body? Everything Vivekananda is posing himself and showing how Krishna was on the battlefield. Shri Krishna, whip in one hand and tightening the reins with the other, he turned himself towards Arjuna with his childlike face. See, Now it is Prahasaneva Bharata, smile on that face. Child, so here action, horse pulling, whip in another hand, action. But on the face, childlike face, beaming, smile. Childlike face beaming with unworldly love and sympathy and a calm and serene look. Now tell me, Vivekananda is telling his friend, what idea this picture of the preacher of Gita conveys to you? The friend is now answering. Activity combined with firmness and serenity. See, this should be our way of life. Activity combined with firmness and serenity. So that is showing Krishna's, that picture pose is showing activity combined with firmness and serenity. Swami Vivekananda was happy. Told, that is right. That's it. And what is Vivekananda is expressing? Intense. So what is that Krishna's beautiful smile like a baby child is showing, and the body language is showing? Vivekananda himself is expressing intense action in the whole body. Intense action, and with a face expressing the profound calmness and serenity of the blue sky. This is the central idea of Bhagavad Gita. This is the central idea of Bhagavad Gita. What is that? What is the smile of Krishna showing? The body language of Krishna showing you? To be calm and steadfast in all situations of your life. To be calm and steadfast in all circumstances, with one's body, mind and soul centered at his hallowed feet. And Swami Vivekananda also quotes Krishna's Bhagavad Gita shloka itself to prove that. What is the central idea of Bhagavad Gita? Yes, he quotes that. What is that? Beautiful verse from the 4th chapter, 18th verse. Karmanya karma yaf pashyet akarmani cha karma yaha sa buddhiman manushyeshu sayukta kritsnam akarma krit. So, what is the meaning, simple meaning of this? Those who see action in inaction. Those who see action in inaction and inaction in action are truly wise amongst human beings. Should be working very hard, intense activity, but your mind should be calm and serene. You should have the smile of that baby combined with that. And you will be calmly meditating, but inside you will be having the tremendous action in your mind. This combination is the true personality of a perfect human being. Lord Krishna himself is telling. Whatever he is telling is his own true nature. So what is that? Those who see action in inaction. Maybe tremendous action, tension, worries, battlefield, but calm in that. Action in inaction and inaction in action are truly wise amongst human beings. That is the verse quoted by Swami Vivekananda himself. So, in all circumstances, one's body, mind and soul centered at his hallowed feet. Gita, 4th chapter, 18th verse. He who even while doing action can keep his mind calm, and in whom even when not doing any outward action flows the current of activity in the form of the contemplation of God, he is the intelligent one amongst men. He indeed is the yogi. He indeed is the perfect worker, karma yogi. See, that is being expressed, the true Karma Yogi on the face of Lord Krishna. With that one smile, so much of deep meaning. See, that's why I went back to that verse. I wanted to give you the central theme of Bhagavad Gita. That's why I came back to show you. So some more things can be seen here about that, and we will go forward because we have already got wonderful things out of this. Let us see some more thoughts. Now, ordinary way, we will see why Krishna smiled. Prahasanneva. Scholars will tell about it. Tamuvacha Hrishikeshaha Prahasanneva Bharata Senayorabhyor Madhye Vishidantam Idam Vachaha. Arjuna, filled with valor and enthusiasm, came to the battlefield, but now he retreated, or he has become sunken. Before he himself wanted to have the war, he asked Lord Krishna to place his chariot between the two armies so that he could behold the warriors. It was befitting for Arjuna to get ready for the fighting, which was his objective, but there, instead of waging the righteous war, his duty, he felt grieved. So Lord Krishna started the gospel of Bhagavad Gita. Now, Prahasanneva, smiling as it were, means that when Lord Krishna perceived that Arjuna's enthusiasm for the war had changed into grief, so he smiled. Secondly, in the 7th verse, what did Arjuna say? Do instruct me, I have taken refuge in you. But in the 9th verse, he says, I will not fight. First he is telling, I am surrendered. I will follow whatever. You be the Guru, I will be your Shishya, disciple. Shishyasteham shadimam turam prapannam. Now in the 9th verse he is telling, do whatever, I am not going to fight. I am confused. So, Lord Krishna smiled because the devotee who takes a refuge in his preceptor, in the Guru, just becomes an instrument in the hands of his preceptor. And a preceptor or the Guru is fully responsible for the duty of the disciple. The disciple has no option but to obey his preceptor and do as his teacher, Guru wishes. Arjuna's declaration not to fight is practically a withdrawal from his refuge in the Lord. Eva means that Lord Krishna must have burst into laughter after hearing Arjuna's decision of not fighting, but he spoke smilingly. So that may be the reason. When Arjuna said, I will not fight, Lord Krishna should have told him to do so as he wished. But he thought that Arjuna was unable to take the right decision because he was overwhelmed with grief and sorrow. So there was an overflow of Lord Krishna's compassion, love and grace for Arjuna. God, instead of paying attention to the words of his devotees, judges them by their feelings. So Lord Krishna, instead of paying attention to Arjuna's word that he will not fight, started the gospel from the next verse. So that's why he smiled at Arjuna. Now you can see, if you go on thinking of this verse, then you can get so many reasons. Then moreover, he accepts those devotees who take refuge in him even by words. You may not mean. You may just be telling to the Lord. One old lady was there. She was going to the forest to cut wood and sell it and earn some money. Old lady, too old. She was gone to the forest, cut some wood, but she was a little greedy. She wanted to earn more money. So she has cut more wood than she can carry because she is quite old now. The bundle of the wood is too big. Now she is trying to bundle it up and put it on her head. She can't lift it. It falls down again and again. She also falling down while she is trying to lift it. She got very upset. Then she cursed. Should not Yamaraj come and take me away? What is the use of this life? Then immediately, just like in a movie you see, Yamaraj, with all the flash of light and dash, the bison and this thing, Yamaraj came and stood. Oh, old lady, did you call me? Yamaraj came and stood before that old lady. Did you call me? Then she was shocked. She told, oh, no, I didn't call you. No, I heard you telling, we should not, Yamaraj. No. I was finding difficult to lift that the things. I needed the help. So come, help me to lift that on my head. She asked Yamaraj to lift that bundle on her head. I didn't call you. So likewise, we will be telling something and we don't mean it. Oh Lord, I am completely your servant. I have surrendered, but I will be doing something else. Even then, even for word's sake, if you tell, oh Lord, I have surrendered to you, even though Lord knows our heart, but He has grace on us, He will take care of us, nothing to worry. Even for the word's sake, if you tell, that is what here. So Arjuna has told only for word's sake, but still out of compassion. Moreover, the Lord accepts those devotees who take refuge in Him even by words. So don't worry, even for words, if you tell, oh Lord, I have surrendered, He will accept because of His boundless grace. Rishikesha means, as I told you, the Lord of the senses and the mind. And also, if He is the Lord of the senses and the mind, He is the indweller. He knows feelings of every living being. Lord Krishna knows that Arjuna is turning away from war because he is overpowered by the urge of attachment for his kinsman, and he does not see his grief melting away by merely acquiring a kingdom. So he says, I will not fight. But he also knows that as soon as his delusion is destroyed, he will act upon the instruction of the Lord. So, idam vachaha, uvacha, the use of word uvacha means spoke, was sufficient. There was no need to use the word vachaha, words, because vachaha is also included in uvacha. Again, why is this double repetition of uvacha and vachaha? It seems as repetition, but actually it is not so. The word vachaha in this verse has been used to point out the secret wisdom contained in the next verses from 11th verse uttered by Lord Krishna in simple and easily understandable language. So now we have made a thorough research of what is the meaning of that smile of Lord Krishna in that earlier 10th verse. Talking about the smile, now Lord Krishna's smile is okay. What about how should we? Swami Vivekananda can help us. The person who we are all aspiring to be devotees, bhakta, must be always cheerful. Okay? In the Western world, the idea of religious man is that he never should smile. That a dark cloud must always hang over his face, which again must be a long drawn with the jaws almost collapsed. People with emaciated bodies and long faces are fit subjects for the physicians, they are not yogis. If you see a serious long face, popo face, then it is a case of dyspepsia, not spirituality, tells Swami Vivekananda. You know what is dyspepsia? Some stomach problem. That's why his face is serious. Don't think that if you are very serious, that you are spiritual. That is the Western idea, that all that pastors and this thing, you should be very serious, should not be smiling. Swami Vivekananda is telling, if you are thinking of God who is infinite bliss, how can you be having a popo face or long face? You are thinking of God who is full of joy, bliss. Then how can you express it out, that seriousness and always a very bad face? Can't. That's why Swami Vivekananda tells, suppose go, watch in the mirror your face. If there is no smile on the face, if it is a long face, don't come out of your room. You don't have any right to disturb the mood of the outer people. If you go out with such a bad face, instead of inspiring people, you will be bringing down their enthusiasm, says Vivekananda. Go and watch your face in the mirror. If it is sad and morose, don't spread that disease to outside people. So don't come out with that long face, tells Swami Vivekananda. Because spirituality, devotee, means thinking of God. So there should be cheerfulness. Therefore it should be smile on your face. Only if you have a smile, cheerfulness, then come and show your face outside, tells Swami Vivekananda. So see, you can connect between the smile of Krishna and why you should always keep a smile on your face. Not go and see your face. If you have a long face or popo face, then you should at least try to bring in a smile, think of God, then come out. Then Vivekananda tells, we must be bright and cheerful. Long faces do not make religion. Religion should be most joyful thing in the world because it is the best. Asceticism cannot make us holy. Why should a man who loves God and who is pure, why should he be sorrowful? He should be like a happy child. Truly a child of God. The essential thing in religion is making the heart pure. The kingdom of heaven is within you. But only the pure in heart can see the King. While we think of the world, it is only the world for us. But let us come to it with the feeling that world is God and we shall have God. This should be our thought towards everyone and everything. Parents, children, husbands, wives, friends and enemies. Think how it would change if you see God in all of them who is within you. Think how this world will change, the whole universe will change for us if we could consciously fill everything with God, which is within you. See nothing but God. All sorrow, all struggles, all pain would be forever lost to you. So now Vivekananda has given you how to keep a smile always. If you see enemies, if you see hatred, then the smile goes away. Bring in that God who is in your heart, in everything and every person, then you see it will have a smile. You will see the Lord playing in all these things. Now suppose your mother wants to, when you are a small child, want to frighten you. She will put the dress of a ghost or something, covered blanket, and she comes and threatens you. First you will be frightened and she will start crying, shrieking. But once you come to know it's your mother who is dressed like a ghost, the next time even a real ghost comes, you'll feel that is the mother within and you'll start smiling. Because you see your mother in that. Likewise, all the things in the form of enemies and all the things there happening, all the worst things, everything is happening by the will of God. If you fill in God in everything, then where is the question of morose and sorrow? Vivekananda has given that idea, how to bring in smile. See, Krishna's smile now has brought smile to our faces. Now with all this explanation, we will go to the beautiful teaching of Lord Krishna. We have chanted that already. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashochya Nanvashochaswam Pragnavadamscha Bhashase Gatasun Agatasunscha Nanushochante Pandita. The Lord said, O Arjuna, you are grieving for those who should not be grieved for. At the same time, you are speaking the words of A wise man. Wise men do not grieve for the dead or for the living. This is a very important verse because this is the first teaching Lord Krishna is starting now. This verse, Krishna condenses the entire Gita scripture. So, what is Bhagavad Gita? If somebody asks you, you can say this verse. This word contains the essence. And what is that? If you have to put it in simple English, the essence is ignorance. You know what is ignorance? Ignorance is the cause of all human problems. Ignorance is the cause of all human problems. What ignorance? I told you last time. Ignorance of your true nature. That you are the Atman, you are the child of God. The moment you think you are the ego, then comes all enemies outside. You will start seeing enemies and everything outside. The moment you see God within you, how can you see enemies and the people outside? So, ignorance of your true nature causes all the problem. So that is what Lord Krishna is telling. And by ignorance, we mean the absence of knowledge of your own true nature, Atman. That's what Ramana Maharshi always used to tell anybody going, find out who you are. So I always used to make fun of on Vivekananda Jayanti also. Don't ask, because everywhere in South Africa, the moment they see each other, how are you, how are you? They will be simply telling, how are you? That is become mechanical like a parrot. How are you, how are you? But instead you can ask, who are you? Who are you? They may get angry and beat you if you ask who are you. Don't do that. I'm just telling you for a joke, that's all. So, ignorance of your true self, that is the Atman or the God. Ignorance is the cause of all human problems. And therefore, what is the remedy? The remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness, but to think of strength. Says Vivekananda. Therefore, knowledge. Gaining knowledge is the only solution for all human problems. That's why Vivekananda told, knowledge is power. Suppose you have a vehicle. You do not know anything about your vehicle, engine or anything. Now, even smallest problem you have to take to the garage or workshop or the mechanic. And he will charge you so much and it will be pain and pain. If you know everything about the engine, the nut, the bolt and everything electronics, you can repair it yourself. So, the moment any problems come to the car, you will not feel sorrowful at all. You will go there and you yourself will repair and you will feel happy. So, knowledge is power. Because you have the knowledge of that vehicle, you can control. Knowledge of the electrical equipment in your houses, don't have sorrow at all. Because you have knowledge. You can repair and use it. So no sorrow. So knowledge is power. So if that is the case, knowledge of the Atman or the Lord, who is the source of all this universe, if you have the knowledge, He is within you. If you have the knowledge of that, then what would be the immensity of the bliss and joy? Just imagine. That's why, if ignorance is the cause of all human problem, that is the essence of this verse. Therefore, knowledge of God or knowledge of self or Brahman is the only solution for all human problems. Only solutions. So this is the essence of this verse. If you put in Sanskrit, Atma Gnanam Samsara, Atma Agnanam, Agnanam means ignorance. Samsara Karanam is the reason for the transmigratory existence of death and birth and death and birth and the pain, suffering. Atma Agnana. Atma Gnanam Moksha Karanam will give you true freedom. Atma Agnanam is the cause of samsara. Atma Gnanam is the cause of moksha. Moksha means freedom, which everybody is aspiring for. Ask any youth, ask any animal. The dog wants freedom. You are tied down to the belt and kept inside, it will be always barking. Why? It wants freedom. The electron wants freedom. The valence electron, it is trying to break away from the nucleus. The planets want freedom. They're trying to break away from the stars. Children in the house, they want freedom from the parents. Everybody wants freedom. Freedom, freedom. So that is only freedom of the senses. But this is true freedom. So that's why when somebody asked Ramakrishnaanandaji, Shishi Maharaj, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, who started all Ramakrishna Ashrama in South India. Chennai was the headquarters there. So one youth came to him, Ramakrishnaanandaji, Shishi Bhushan Chakravarti was his name. Then that youth told, Swamiji, we don't want your do's and don'ts of religion. We are bored of it. Then what do you want, my child? We want freedom. We are youths. We want freedom. What kind of freedom do you want, my child? Do you want freedom for the senses or do you want freedom of the senses? Do you want freedom for the senses or do you want freedom of the senses? We all want freedom for the senses. What is freedom for the senses? Live like animals. Animal, whatever it sees, it will go and eat. Wherever it will dirty that place. Sleep wherever it wants. Is that freedom? That's animal life. That is freedom for the senses. What is freedom of the senses? Now you are the slaves of your senses and mind. While you are driving, you tell your mind, don't see here and there. You see some bad advertisement, then you can't withstand, mind goes there and accident. You can't control your eyes. It is controlling you. You are the slave of your senses and mind. So when you become the master of your senses, when you become the master of your mind, that is true freedom. That is real freedom. So do you want freedom for the senses? Do you want freedom of the senses? So true freedom is freedom of the senses. How will you get it? When you have the knowledge of your true self. That you can see here. So moksha is not something going to some loka and staying there in heaven. I don't know. Moksha means eternal freedom. Freedom is your birthright and everyone should have it. So this is the key statement. What is that key statement? Knowledge. Knowledge. Atma Gnana. Krishna is going to elaborate in the entire Gita. So that's why at the end of every chapter, in the first chapter also, told Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam. What is that Brahma Vidya means? The Brahman or God or Atman Vidya, knowledge, self of the knowledge of the self or Brahman, Brahma Vidya. The central theme of entire Gita is, Gita Shastra is knowledge of the self, which will give you freedom, eternal freedom, no doubt. So many other topics are discussed in the Bhagavad Gita, like Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, Japa, all that thing. But the main topic is the realization of yourself, knowledge of yourself, Atma Vidya. How does Krishna convey this idea? He presents it beautifully. Look at the second line of this verse, the last portion. Panditaha, that is, the men of wisdom, na anushochanti. What is the meaning of Panditaha na anushochanti? Means people of wisdom, wise people, do not grieve in their life. If you are grieving, that means you are man of ignorance. People of wisdom, Panditaha, who have knowledge, na anushochanti. This statement means that wise people do not grieve in their life. Wise regard to what? Regard to any other thing. Wise regard to one's self. Therefore, people who have the knowledge of the self, who we really are, wise people means men of self-knowledge, Atma Gnani is Pandita. So they don't grieve at all. That means we can easily derive the corollary here. If wise people, men of wisdom, do not grieve, Arjuna, You are profusely grieving. So what are you? Krishna need not tell in his words, he is indirectly hinting. What is he telling? He is not scolding directly, covering with a blanket and then punching him. He doesn't know who is punching him. So he is telling, wise people do not grieve. That means you are grieving. I will not tell that you are a man of ignorance, but you should understand it. So what should we understand? Krishna is telling, people of knowledge will not grieve. Means if we are grieving, we are men of ignorance, dullards. The corollary, if wise people do not grieve, Arjuna, you are profusely grieving. Therefore, Arjuna, you are dash, 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 fill up the blanks. Arjuna is otherwise ignorant. Therefore, indirectly, without directly hitting us, Krishna is conveying that important implication. Arjuna and all of us, we are always grieving and always sorrowing. So you are ignorant. Krishna is telling the entire humanity, if only we have open mind, we can understand why are we grieving, why are we in trouble, why are we in sorrowful state, depression, anxiety. Even the small child of primary school, they are taken to psychiatrists and psychologists for depression. We never heard of the word depression until our 20th year or something. We never used to hear. Now even a small child is telling of anxiety, depression, tension, worries. What is this? Why? Ignorance. What is the remedy? Knowledge. So if there is darkness in the room, what is the only remedy? Bring in the light. There is only one remedy, bring in the light. Therefore, if you are suffering, if you have ignorance, because of that ignorance, what is the only remedy? Knowledge of your true self. That is what now Krishna will teach us. We will study that. The next we will go to the details of that wonderful thing in the next class. So you have to always remember, now you have to jot down, not only in the book, in your heart, you have to etch it in your mind. It should be gone deeply into your heart. Ignorance is the cause of all sufferings. Knowledge of God can remove any suffering and all the problems of your life. That is the essence of this verse. So let us keep that in our mind. If you are grieving, if you are always in trouble, that means you are ignorant of yourself. What is the remedy? Only remedy? Think of God. Think of the knowledge of God. Read and think and ask from the people who are wise. To approach Him and get the knowledge, and you see all the sorrow will vanish. Now we shall close our today's discussion with one of the verses from the meditation on Bhagavad Gita. Karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Paramanandamadhavam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.